Imagine a 15-year-old girl. She is pregnant and very scared. The easiest way out is to get rid of the baby, but after some counseling, she decides to keep it. Once the baby is out of the womb, think about its future. Will the life of the child still be valuable to us 5 or 6 years later? What if the child was abused, neglected, or in foster care? Do you still care? This is a story from A Worried Church, written by Kinsey Thoreau and Sharon Carnes. What if one of these children were you? I have done much research on both abortion and foster care. Abortion is a safe way to ensure unwanted children will not go through the pain and suffering from foster care. First, I will tell you about foster care, then about the mental and physical health of children in foster care. Lastly, I will tell you how abortion is safe and could make a mother's life easier. Let's start by talking about children in foster care. Nobody should come into the world unwanted, but there are about 1,200 children admitted into foster care every day, according to Thoreau and Carnes. Most of these children will spend their whole childhood moving from home to home. This leads to a poor education and no stable relationships. The lack of family also causes many social problems. With no stability in their life while growing up, their life only gets harder as they grow up. According to Bruskus, 15,000 kids turn 18 each year while still in foster care, and they will find themselves with little, if any, financial, medical, or social support. It's hard enough transferring from your teens to adulthood with parents who try to support you. Could you imagine doing that without parents or even a guardian? With little knowledge of what it's like to be stable, these growing children will have a hard time keeping a job and usually end up homeless. Again, they are not in a stable environment, and the cycle repeats itself by getting pregnant and not being able to care for the child. The child will be placed in foster care, and so forth. The cycle could be stopped by getting an abortion. The child would not have to suffer, and the parent wouldn't have to go through the pain of giving him or her up for adoption. Mental problems can also be a reason for this continuous cycle. Now I will tell you how. Nationally, 542,000 children are in foster care. Many of these children have prior history of maltreatment, which can affect developmental and mental health of children, according to Bruskus. Let's look at the graph that shows the types of abuse children go through growing up. According to the Helping Hand Home for Children Development Department, about 73% of abused children are neglected and 11% are physically abused. When looking closer at the graph, you may realize the percents add up to more than 100%. This is because a child may have experienced more than one type of abuse. Bruskus states that over half of the children in foster care experience one or more clinical mental disorders, and out of the children with the worst symptoms, only 4% receive mental health care. Maltreatment and being removed from parents are traumatic events that can affect the developmental and mental health of children. Children could have social problems, PTSD, depression, or anxiety. According to Bruskus, untreated psychiatric problems usually will not get better, but may get worse. There is a simple solution to all the pain and suffering from foster care. Abortion is that solution. Abortion is safer than having a child. According to procon.org, women giving birth are 14 times more likely to die than women having an abortion. A peer-reviewed study report that less than 0.25% of abortions lead to major health complications. Studies have shown women who get abortions are better financially and mentally. Procon.org states 73% of women who have abortions say they could not afford to have a baby. Women who are denied abortions are more likely to become unemployed, to be on public welfare, below the poverty line, and victims of domestic violence. A study at the University of California found that women who were turned away from abortion clinics were 3 times more likely to fall below the poverty line. I've discussed the financial ways abortion are better. Now I'll tell you about the mental ways. The worst part about adoption is never getting to see your child again. If there was no child to begin with, this thought wouldn't have run through the mother's head. According to Brent Miller and Diana Coyle, many mothers who gave their children up for adoption experience confusion, anger, guilt, and sadness. To wrap up, unwanted children should be aborted so they don't have to go through the pain and suffering of foster care. Growing up in foster care is hard, and transitioning to adulthood gets even harder. We look looked at the graph to see what types of abuse were most common to children. I discussed how many women may be better off getting an abortion mentally, physically, and financially. No child should come into the world unwanted. Do not make a child suffer their whole life in foster care. Get an abortion.